Welcome to the Sales Strategy Bootcamp with Romeo Mabasa. In this episode, we look at sales risk management. We need to look at a number of risks, and they have to be defined by the business, and look at mitigation plans, because you're going to have to teach your salespeople to be aware of them and know what to do should something like that happen. And the first type that we talk about is called a personal risk. So sometimes you learn over the course of the business that salespeople can be overzealous, they can be overconfident, they can come across as boastful, they can come across as arrogant. So it's very important to always pick up the environment of your customer and align your personality to that. And type 2 is information risk. And with information risk is where a salesperson feeds customer too much information, because you don't ask a lot of questions. You just keep talking about yourself. You just keep talking about your product. You just overfeed information to the customer, and you notice how they never really ask a lot of questions. They just want the meeting to end. And the third type is a strategic risk. I often encourage salespeople to make sure that the person you are talking to, that customer you are talking to, is the right person, but more importantly, they understand what their business strategy is. Because if they don't, you sell them something that has nothing to do with the strategy, and you realize that you've sold them a wrong deal, and that's what you don't want. And the fourth type is your tactical or operational risk. You need to make sure that, number one, you are dealing with a customer who understands their own processes and workflows, and you need to be able to ask the right questions, because if you don't, you're going to sell a product that doesn't meet the customer's tactical or operational plans, and guaranteed your product, even if the customer buys it, it's going to bomb out, and eventually you will lose the deal anyway. And the fifth type is your ethical risks, and your ethical risk have to do with discipline, have to do with how to manage rogue customers, how to manage, customers who expect you to give or take a bribe. And that's why we talk a lot about ABC, which is your anti-bribery and corruption. You need to make sure that you don't bring your business into disrepute for whatever reason. And type 6 is your reputation risk. As a salesperson, you need to understand, when you go talk to customers or you interact outside, you are always representing your organization. And that's why it's very important to manage the perception and show that people see your organization in a positive way. Otherwise, if the reputation is bad, even if your product is good, they won't buy it. Type 7 is opportunity risk. You know how your confidence grows as a salesperson when the customer keeps saying, oh yes, let's see the demo, and they move it up one notch and you feel confident. You cannot just rely on the customer's word. You need to put measures in place to make sure that the deal is proceeding until it closes. You need to make sure that you cover all the bases. You need to ask the right questions to make sure that you don't lose this deal. Type 8 is change in management. It's one of the biggest risks that a lot of salespeople don't see coming. So you can imagine if the decision maker leaves the company and they liked you, you got along, but then they forgot to mention that it was their last month at the current company, they are moving to another position, or they are moving to another company. So it's important for you to make sure that you check these things as well. And the last one is implementation risk. A lot of salespeople don't involve the operational team when they are working on a deal. And once you go and commit to a customer that, yes, definitely we'll do it in 2 weeks, and then by the time you go back to the operational team, they say, we are backlogged for another 3 months. Now you are going to lose this deal because you just didn't take into account that implementation was supposed to be involved. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Maromza, and encourage other business people, small businesses, people who are starting out consulting, to follow this channel, because I post fresh content weekly. Thank you so much.